Let's look at the second task in the 2022 Higher Admin and IT assignment, which we're showing here on the left-hand side. Now this one, it's quite obvious, it's a spreadsheet you're going to be working on. Few clues, it's referring to an open day, and I can see that we have an open day spreadsheet here. It talks about a worksheet, and at the very bottom, the absolute giveaway is printing both sheets in formula and value view. So we're looking for a spreadsheet. It's the CCS Open Day spreadsheet. The only other bit of relevant information possibly is talking about goodie bags to the first 250 students. So that is in there for a reason, and I'm sure we'll find out when we open up the spreadsheet itself. Another little thing to think about in terms of the formulas and functions you might be asked to do in a spreadsheet at higher level. And you'll see here the arithmetical, plus, minus, divide, multiply, and all these functions you can see, including lookups. So let's now have a look at the spreadsheet itself. So when we open up the spreadsheet, we can see we've got 4 sheets along the bottom. We're looking here to complete this open day worksheet here. Clearly we have to do some kind of costing, perhaps a bit of formatting. We've got catering costs, and we've got the cost of the goodie bag. We have also here, we have to look at the budget and the actual, which will come, I would imagine, from the open day once we've totaled it for the support cost, catering and merchandise, and some kind of formula to work out the percentage difference to budget. We've got a catering cost sheet. It's simply a list of costs, which we'll have to bring into the open day worksheet. And then the fourth sheet, same again with the merchandise costs, and they are just shown here horizontally, whereas the catering costs are held here vertically. So it's a big clue as to what you're going to be asked to do to complete the open day sheet. So looking down here at the catering costs, we have all the items, but not the costs, because they are held separately in the catering cost sheet. And then we have the same in terms of the goodie bag, which is obviously coming from the merchandise costs. All right, so what we're looking to do is a VLOOKUP, a vertical lookup for catering costs to bring the costs for each of these individual items. There's different ways to do it. The way I would do it is click, in this case, cell B17, type in equals, start typing in VLOOKUP. Once I find it, I can double click on it to bring it up. You can do it just straight in with the formula that way, but the easiest way, I think, is to go up to the Formula tab. If you click on the Insert function, you'll get the VLOOKUP argument box, which will help you step by step. So what do we have to do? What is the lookup value? Well, that simply is the item that you're looking up. The first item we're looking up is the cost of a still water bottle. So I'm going to click on that cell. The table array is where is the information held? Well, we know it's held in the catering cost sheet. So let's click onto that and let's highlight. I can see the still water bottles at the top here actually, but let's just highlight all the items and all the costs. Now remember, if you're copying down, which we're going to have to do in a moment, is we need to fix that table into place. So you need to do F4. So it's really, there needs to be a $ in front of everything. Now thinking of the column index number that's going to come next, looking at the table you've just highlighted, there's 2 columns. The first column has the items and the second column has the price. And the column index number is asking which of these 2 columns are you going to find the cost price in. And it's the second of the 2 columns. So the column index number is going to be 2. It's jumped me back into my open day sheet. The range lookup, well, we are looking for an exact match. There's just one cost for the still water bottle, so we have to type in false. So this is what we need to do the VLOOKUP. Click on OK, and there it has returned, well, 0.990 pence, and I can copy that down. Now, look at the way it's been formatted. We need to have the sort of pound sign and the decimal places. Quickest way to do it is I would just click on the one above, because that one above looks like the correct format. If I click on that once, go to Home, click on the Format Painter, and a wee paintbrush appears, and literally just paint down or just copy down, and it will format the way it's shown above. You could also, of course, go into the number formatting as well. And then let's just do a quick formula to work out the total cost equals the cost per unit multiplied by the number of units. Click on Enter, and that's us. We can just copy that down. And at the bottom, to get the total catering costs, just a very simple auto sum, and then press Enter. We're going to do the same again for the cost of the goodie bag. Now this one's quite interesting because we know the costs are going to be found in the merchandise cost sheet, but what about the number of units? Well, if we think back to the question where it's talking about the first 250 students are going to get a goodie bag, so clearly they're budgeting for 250 goodie bags. So the number of units is 250 for all of the items. To get the cost per unit, we now need to do another lookup, but because the costs are held horizontally, it's going to have to be an HLOOKUP. So same thing again, start typing in HLOOKUP, find it, double click on it, and then go up to the insert function box to bring up the step-by-step box there. All right, again, what are we looking up? We're looking up the first item, pen in A26. Where is the table? It's in the merchandise cost sheet. Let's highlight all the items and all the prices. And again, because we're going to be copying down, we have to fix that exactly into place with F4. Looking at the two rows of information, the price is held, so the cost is held in the second of the two rows. So we'll click in 2, and again, it is an exact match. So let's just type in false, and that will return, I can see there, 70 pence. Click on OK, and that is correct. And again, we can copy down to get the various costs, and then to format it quickly, go to one that has already been formatted properly, Home, Format Painter, and just sort of paint down, copy down, and that'll do the trick. It's looking for a total cost excluding VAT, so the first one is a simple multiplying equals the cost multiplied by the number of units, nice and straightforward, and let's copy that down. And then we have to work out the cost including VAT. I can see there's a wee note there to say that VAT has to be added on at 20%. So the quickest way to do this is equals, click on the cost before the VAT and multiplied by 1.2. So that's the cost, that's the one whole number, and then the 0.2 is equivalent to the 20% VAT. That's why it's 1.2. So that's it. Click on Enter there, and then copy down. And then again, we can do a quick auto sum at the bottom to get the merchandise total. And now we have our 3 totals there. I noticed actually that the catering cost total should be in bold, so I'll just go and do that just now. Okay, so the next part is telling us here in the third paragraph down, we have to transfer the costs to the budgeted costs worksheet. So let's go and do that now. So if you remember, we have here the budgeted costs, and we are needing to put in the actual cost based on what we've just calculated. Now we're not going to copy and paste, we're going to make it dynamic and we're going to link it. So to get the support costs, clicking in C4, I'm going to click on equals, then go to my open day and bring across the support cost total. I'm going to do the same again, equals with the catering costs that we've just worked out. Let's do equals and then highlight the total there in D22. And again, for the merchandise costs, we'll do the same. And here it is there, the cost of the goodie bag there, total cost there. That means that if we change anything in the open day sheet, that the actual figures will also change. And again, formatting is not consistent, so I'll just quickly use my format painter based on one that is formatted properly and format the rest of it. The second part of the question is to find out what is the percent difference to the budget. So we're looking to go into column D, and what we have to do is go equals, and what we're saying is it's the budget minus the actual. That will work out the difference. I'm going to put a little bracket around that, let it do that calculation to get the difference, and we're going to compare that to, we're going to divide that by the budget. So it's the difference we've worked out, B4 minus C4, compared to the budget. Click on enter, and you'll see there it's okay, it's done something. What we'll have to do is let's go back and format that as a percentage. So it's down by 0.29%, and let's just copy that down to get the other two figures. Let's now just check if there's anything else that we need to do in this task, and we'll see at the bottom here we're being asked to print both sheets in formula and value view. So we're back in the open day sheet here, and we are preparing to print, and we're having to show the values and also the formula. So the first thing I would do if preparing to print, I would go into File and then to Print, and I would check to see, is this going to print on one page? Actually, it's not. It's going to go on to 2 pages. Now, it doesn't ask for you to do this in the task, but if you want to make sure it's going to print on one page, you can either go to scaling, or in this case, I would actually change it to landscape. Sometimes you'll be asked to show the column headings and grid lines. If you're asked to do that, we're not in this case, but if you were asked, page setup, and then if you're in sheets here, you've got the option to click on or off for the grid lines and the row and column headings. But we're not asked for that this time. We're just preparing to print with the value and formula view. So if you remember to show, well, this looking here is the values. If you want to show it as formulas, there's 2 ways to do it. You could put your finger on the control key, keep it pressed, and then click on the shoulder key. That's the wee line with the downward line underneath the escape key on the left-hand side of your keyboard up at the top. And then you can toggle on and toggle off. Remember, please, that when you are printing off formula, make sure that the whole formula can be seen. So if your column's quite narrow, make sure you stretch it out so everything can be seen. And the other way to show the formula in the Formula tab, and you'll see there's a button, Show Formulas, on and off. So 2 different ways to show the formulas and the values. So that's how you do task 2.